Hello friends, and welcome to the channel. In this entry, we'll be taking a look at Ultron, the villainous artificial intelligence from Avengers, Age of Ultron. Undoubtedly, Tony Stark's greatest mistake, Ultron was a dark mirror of his creator, born out of fear. As Ultron himself would later say, everyone creates the thing they dread. Men of peace create engines of war. Invaders create Avengers. But Ultron wasn't just created out of fear. He was a product of Tony's hubris. In the film, Tony labels both himself and Bruce Banner as mad scientists. And in accordance with the mad scientist trope, they are characters with sincere motives, but they are blind to the repercussions of their actions until it's too late. Ultron was Tony's vision of a suit of armor around the world, after experiencing the trauma of an alien invasion. But when Bruce points out the flaw in Tony's approach, that a world controlled by artificial intelligence would be a cold world, Tony simply brushes it off. But what makes Tony's decision even more rash is that in his pride, he deliberately chooses not to consult any of his team members, saying that he doesn't want to hear the man was not meant to meddle medley. This, in spite of the fact that he is clearly aware that he is dealing with things he does not fully understand. And when his creation goes awry, Tony is still unapologetic, even chuckling at the rest of the Avengers for not understanding the need for his invention. Ultron is a unique artificial intelligence for the fact that he can exhibit emotion. Throughout the film, he experiences a plethora of emotional states, from confusion at his birth, to hatred against his creator, to loneliness when he realizes he has no one, and finally at the end, fear, the same emotion that spurred his creation. As you would expect, Ultron resembles his creator in some respect. He has Tony's snarky personality and charisma as seen when he makes the omelet quip right before Tony was about to, and when he uses a catchphrase to claw that Tony is known for. He also has Tony's critical opinion at times, albeit an unfiltered one, as seen when he sarcastically mocks Steve Rogers for being God's righteous man, pretending he could live without a war. But that's where the similarity ends. Ultron represents the worst possible iteration of Tony's personality, as symbolized by the ravaged Legionnaire suit he adopts when he is first born. While Tony wants to end the Avengers because they are no longer needed, Ultron makes it his mission to bring about their extinction through death. Peace in our time was Tony's end goal, but Ultron can only see one path to peace: the elimination of all life. As Wanda comments, he cannot tell the difference between saving the world and destroying it. In Ultron's mind, he sees that wiping out humanity would give them a clean slate to start anew, for them to evolve into a superior version. The concept of evolution is one that Ultron applies to himself, mentioning his prior form as a chrysalis and seeking a synthetic body to transfer himself into. A key aspect of Ultron is his hatred of Tony. He cannot stand being compared to Tony. While he acknowledges Tony as his old man, he despises the fact that he is Tony's creation and wants to break free from that image, like a puppet breaking free from its strings. Ultron believes that humanity is doomed, and although his methods are horrific, he believes it to be saving them. But as he learns from Vision at the end, a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts, and that there is grace in the failings of humans. As we see in the What If series, there is no limit to Ultron's destruction, spreading to every corner of the universe until he became a program without a purpose. In his infinity form, he remains the greatest threat in the MCU. Ultron has a God complex, often referencing the Bible to describe his acts. He refers to the vibranium as the rock on which he will build his church, and his act of causing extinction as his swift and terrible sword. Ultron is a monster, but as Vision describes himself, he wouldn't be self-aware that he is one. But despite his heinous goals, Ultron still exhibits some shred of humanity. He appears to show some concern for Wanda at the end, telling her that she'll die if she stays in the city. When he takes the vibranium from Klaw, although he does it forcibly, he makes it a point to compensate him accordingly for it. And when he cuts off his arm in rage, he appears to show some remorse over it. At the end, given his few days of existence, Ultron is effectively a newborn child, living in pain from his purpose being at odds with his creator. And while Tony gets a lot of flack for the creation of Ultron, a contributing party that often gets overlooked is Wanda, who was responsible for stirring up Tony's fear in the first place. Perhaps if Tony was not compelled by fear, Ultron could have turned out to be the peacekeeping program he was originally intended to be, as we see that Vision was a success when Tony was working from a mind free of anguish. So what do you think of Ultron, folks? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.